But when it comes to America and it comes to Europe, it comes to China, they do a great job on, their facilities, right? Their exposure, the television, the money opportunities, from the capital side, just the brand awareness that their own brand can generate over there, So it's a lot of different pros that a lot of, different countries and leagues have. But Africa is changing, man.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, viewers from wherever you're watching us from. It's Jermaine here, your host at Wima Sports, and we are at Osoita Lodge, indeed, where guests become family. And speaking of guests, we have an amazing guest today, the Pan-African basketball star, Mr. Jared Harrington. Welcome, sir.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you. So just viewers, for you to know a little bit of who he is, if you don't know, maybe, because most of us know who he is. But Jared Harrington is a renowned basketball icon who has played in the USA, Africa, among other countries featured, and other continents featured, other continents in the world. So he's been featured in the ESPN, he's been featured in CNN and SABC, and he is a benevolent philanthropist and a business mogul. He's recently been playing in the Basketball Africa League and is currently making great impacts in Africa through his arenas and film studio projects, which you shall get to know more about in a few. So, all these at 25.
I who paid you to do all that, man. I appreciate the warm welcome. All this at 25. I'm definitely proud of what, I don't even consider just doing it myself. It's a team effort, a community.
Yeah.
So, we've been blessed to do a lot of great things. So I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So you maybe let's talk about your roots a little bit. Yeah. Where do you come from? How many? What's your family composition and such? Yeah.
So I was born in Washington, D.C., raised in Washington, D.C., and also Maryland. I have three siblings. Awesome. My brother's actually a coach of the Dallas Cowboys as well. My sister is a well-educated Black woman. I grew up with both parents, my mother and my father. They've been together for a very long time, very rare. So we have a very tight-knit family. My surrounding family is also very tight-knit, very supportive. And we just grind, man. Everything about us is always the grind.
And definitely we get to see where the love, how you love people and all that is coming from because of how tight you are as a family, right?
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom too.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've known a little bit of Swahili. Welcome to Kenya means in Swahili is Karibu Kenya.
This ain't Zata Sad. Yeah, Asante Sada, you know that. I've got a little bit bad. I'm studying by the day. I'm studying.
Now we'll officially certify you a Kenyan. I hope the immigration ministry won't. I mean, buzz. So, any best delicacies for you so far in the country?
Man, since I've been here, I've been doing a lot of interviews, being around. My favorite part has really just been the people. Everybody's been receiving me well. I just been getting a lot of love, and I just been sending the love, and the support as well. So a lot of times when we try to do something great, we can receive a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
And I don't receive none of that, even anywhere I go in Africa, really. So
yes. Awesome. And Kenya is one of the countries where, we're really hospitable. I'm not saying this to be diplomatic correct, but we're really hospitable. We love on people. That's why you see it's a country where we have many internationals living here, even as immigrants coming here, because it's a country where we welcome people a lot and always feel at home, and you're welcome to come back and again and again and again.
Well, it's like a melting pot. I was just having a conversation with someone the
other day. Yeah. Yeah. So if we can get back a little bit to your family, how was your first 6 years growing up?
My first 6 years was amazing. My family, like I said, they work extremely hard, man. We have a very unique dynamic that a lot of families don't have when, we were just able to really stick together. So a lot of adversity happened throughout my family that we don't have to get into because we all have, our troubles, right?
Yep.
But one thing I'm proud of my family, we're able to really stick through and be an example for a lot of people out there. So, yeah.
Any siblings in sports?
My brother. Yeah, my
Yep.
brother, he's a magnificent football player. He's actually my role model. He started out, made it to Division I football. He played professionally for a while, and now he's a head coach in the NFL. And also he coached in the collegiate ranks as well. So he inspires me a lot.
Yeah, well, hoping when next time you come, he'll have some time off his busy schedule to join you so that we are having a series at Wima Sports of siblings in sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'd like to have a session of you and your brother interview.
Oh, we got to. You hear that?
Yeah.
You got to, for sure.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Yep. So when did you first start engaging in sports? Just general sports.
Really, as long as I can remember, honestly, like I said, I always looked up to my brother. And then my other brother, he also played sports as well. My auntie, she played in the WNBA.
Oh, nice.
She actually won in the Olympics as well. My cousin, she was a McDonald's All-American. So I had a very sports, related family.
Yeah.
So for as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be a professional athlete.
So getting into active sports now, how many sports have you played?
I just played football and basketball. Like I said, I got on the football because I didn't want to live in my brother's shadow. Don't be as my brother's little brother.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my own lane myself,
So how was high school?
Oh, high school. High school was different. High school was the first time I actually went to a private school. I went to public schools all my life, then transferred in my 9th grade year. I went to basketball preparatory schools, right? So I really started to take the game a lot more serious. One of the schools I went to, we traveled. We played my senior year, we played 58 games. Well, so it really prepared me for that road of being a real pro, taking care of your body, eating right, having good habits.
Yep.
So it was a great experience.
Yep. So what's usually the significance of at that age playing many games? What does that what impact does that build to a player or an athlete?
It definitely prepares you, right? So it allows your mindset to shift from just an amateur to kind of like a pro approach, right? So you might have a back-to-back.
Yeah.
And that's unusual for a lot of high schools, to have a back-to-back. Then you take a rest for 2 days, and then you have another back-to-back. Or you may fly here and then have to play a game in another state, and then play a game in another state. So it prepares you for that lifestyle of travel.
Yeah. And now you've done all that in high school. You've set the dice rolling. What was the college experience like?
College was unique, man. I had a very unique way because when I was a senior, I was getting recruited by a lot of great schools, a lot of Division I schools, Division I being the best in America. And I didn't do the best on the SATs scores as well. So a lot of schools, they kind of dwindled down on my recruitment. Yeah. And I actually ended up going to a Division III school. A lot of people don't know that. I went to a Division III school my first 2 years. Right? It was called Daniel Webster College. It's closed down now. It was in New Hampshire. And then I transferred out of there and I went to Albany State University, which is HBCU in Georgia. So that experience right there was different because I went from kind of like a smaller school to something with 2 campuses, 2 swimming pools, gym. It was just the best facilities.
Nice.
It was a great experience.
So you went through college, and at what point did you realize, should I go pro or should I pursue whatever I've studied for?
To be honest with you, I knew I was going to go pro from my freshman year, right? Because it's just the mindset I've had. And like I said, I was always watching my brother. So I saw how hard he worked, and I saw, he had his adversities. He went to junior college and then made it to the Pac-12, right, which is one of the strongest conferences in football. So I'm like, man, I could do it. It's achievable. So, so my freshman year, I said, man, I can do it, and I started getting a little taller. My coaches, they gave me the confidence because that's really half the battle, just having the confidence that you can do something, right?
Yep.
So they gave me that confidence, dude, and man, I knew I was going to go. I don't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I was going to go.
Yep. So you got there. How many teams have you played professionally?
Yep.
From then to date, maybe if you can share a few.
So played a few places. When I left college, I went to Asia. I played in Mongolia. That was a great experience because it was my rookie year. I was in Asia. I declared for the NBA draft. I didn't get drafted.
Yep.
And instead of going to Europe, I took a different approach and went to, Asia. And so it taught me a lot. Out there, I was able to really lock into a lot of business as well, learning the community, the ins and outs of how to be a pro. So that was a good experience. And then from there, I went straight to Africa, and then I've been here ever since.
Which year was that, getting into Africa?
That was about 2 years ago. I started out with the Cape Town Tigers in South Africa.
Yeah.
And then I transferred teams. I went to South Sudan Cobras, and I played there last season with the BAO.
How's the business move of Cape Town Tigers with Zaire?
I think it's a great.
That's a great move, right?
I think it's great for the league. Cape Town is always doing magnificent things for the innovative side of basketball.
Yeah.
Really, the whole entire BAL is doing a great job with that as well. So I would love to see even more American stars coming over there and really rebranded whatever basketball really is.
Yeah. So for most people or most Africans, there are people who think or feel like such is taking opportunities away from us. So on the side of business, if maybe you can or you can on the side of branding and all that, if you could explain to a layman to try and understand why this happens.
Well, a lot of times, when you talk about African basketball, it's not really known as like the number one or number two or even number three most popular sport. So the talent, you look at Giannis, you look at all these, Joel Embiid, all these different people, they are some of the most talented, if not the most talented players all over the world. But when it comes to America and it comes to Europe, it comes to China, they do a great job on, their facilities, right? Their exposure, the television, the money opportunities, from the capital side, just the brand awareness that their own brand can generate over there, So it's a lot of different pros that a lot of different countries and leagues have, but Africa is changing, man.
Yeah,
we're really, the BAL and a lot of other people are really doing a great job of trying to rebrand what this is, so a lot of talent really stays in house.
Yeah, so at times we don't get to look at the tail end of it. We only look at the what's beneath our nose. And what's your thought on BAL combined going out of Africa?
The BAL combine going out of Africa, I know a lot of people had different views on it, but for me personally, I think it was good. I think extending to Paris, it gives a new outlook of where that could go.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a good job of trying to really expand at the end of the day.
Yep. So what impact do you think BAL will have in sports business in Africa?
I think we have a great impact. Like I said, it's creating a lot of exposure and it's creating a lot of hope. That's a big thing that is creating a lot of hope that, you don't have to necessarily leave to actually be considered a real pro. You can actually be here and get the best of the best. And, keep staying home.
Yeah. So, so far, viewers, we can tell that, Jared has gone through different ups and downs in life all through to this point. And you even declared for NBA drafts. It didn't go through, but you were still resilient towards achieving or pursuing your goals, and you worked hard at it. As a Pan-Africanist, how did you feel on your first time playing for BAL in Africa?
And I felt amazing. I felt proud, and being an African American, man, it really got me more in touch with my roots. We aren't really taught about our roots because we don't know our roots. Unfortunately, right? So when you step off that plane and you just get your feet on the ground, you got a different sense of pride when you're walking around, right?
Yeah.
Your chin happens to be up just a little bit higher, and that's just the realness and part of it, right? So it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't change that experience for the world. I'm forever grateful for that.
So I've also realized that, there's your philanthropist, out of sports, you're doing business. What can you tell athletes who are just focusing on the talents and yeah.
I could tell, definitely curate your talent, definitely keep working, but at the same time, I don't like calling it a backup plan. Just be more. Because we have a stigma that we can only do one thing, or we should only be focused on one thing, which is having that focus on one thing is great. But at the same time, we can expand our capacity of thinking, and we can expand our, our endless opportunities. And us as athletes and entertainers as well, we have a brand of social capital that is unmatched, right? Everybody wants to listen to the athlete. Everybody wants to listen to the rapper, the entertainer, the singer, the sports agent. So at the end of the day, we can use that and leverage it at a better business scale. It will be been taught,
So when did you start engaging in business?
First ever. I went to school for business. Business is something that's always been interesting to me. I got that from my mom and my dad. Like I said, my dad worked 2 jobs. My mom, she's an entrepreneur, right? She does a little bit of everything, So it's like I've always grew up with that hustling mentality. So it was one of those things where I always had the business drive. Now it was just about, what I'm going to do with it. So I actually like I said, I went to school for business.
So, basketball is coming to Africa. It's growing bigger and bigger. Other entertainment opportunities are also coming and grows bigger. In terms of countries from the West, now refocusing on Africa in terms of resources, in terms of human resource, in terms of minerals and all these things that Africa has. Out of, I think, there's a paper that said out of the 10 most fast-growing countries in the world, 6 are from Africa. So, do you think our teams, basketball teams or clubs, are already ready for what's happening to start engaging? And if not, what are some of the things you can tell them to start aligning themselves with?
I think they're ready. I think everything has to be broken down into phases and into come to ultimate success. So the first phase is actually getting the knowledge out there. This can actually be achievable. That first phase is done. Right? This happened. Right? So now it's about, okay, let's structure it even more. Right? So let's keep building upon. Let's even build on the women's side of things. Let's build on the merchandise. It's a lot of the brand awareness, right? Let's actually build up those teams and make them more community initiatives throughout those, because those are our leaders, some of our leaders, So it's a lot of different things that we are already past phase 1. So I'm actually proud to be a part of it.
Awesome. And thank you for championing and being part of this story as well. We'd like to thank you for that. So being a businessman, which I am also, we failed a couple of times. How many times have you failed?
Oh man,
or how much have you lost sometime?
I fail all the time, but one thing about it, I'm not scared of failure, because with failure comes greatness. So you have to learn how to fail and get knocked down and get back up, and get knocked down again and get back up. So I try to build a couple of things over the last 3 years, but I wasn't successful. But at the end of the day, it's like it may not have been to this scale of mass that I'm doing now, but like I said, there was all bumps in the roads that actually gotten to the point now.
That's true. So are you naturally a philanthropist, or is this something you learned over the years?
Man, I think it's a natural thing, man. You're going to hear me reference my family a lot. So, I remember growing up, if I ever got in trouble, I had to go to the senior mission. And, that's our homeless shelter back home in Washington, D.C. And that's where I had to go and serve food. I had to serve. My father, he's been serving for over 20, 30 years. So it's one of those things. I seen the way he was able to help people. I seen the way my mom was able to help people. Even people that was close to her. So my brother, my sister. So it's one of those things that was just natural for us to give back. That's just that's a Harrington thing.
And now this brought you to having this big vision for Africa. Why? Sure. Why Africa? And why are you making these strategic connections? UAE,
Yeah, so
And so that's
for me, I feel that Africa is at a unique time. You know, you hear it's so many different examples we can go into. Even you hear it with our music, and you go back to America. One thing you're gonna hear every day, you're gonna hear Burner. You're gonna hear Burner Boy. You're gonna hear Rima. You know, you're gonna hear some of the best Afro beats of all time in the most popping clubs, lounges, entertainment centers.
yeah.
So it's like it's that wave is shifted to Africa. The average age of Africa is about 19.7. Right by the year 2050, we will have the #1 population.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, I see this time as Africa, kind of how J.P. Morgan and Rockefeller seen America back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, with the oil and everything they were doing with the railroads and stuff. So it's like this is a time, and it's also a golden opportunity to not just help us, but also unite our entire diaspora, right, to come back home.
Yeah. So you attended a summit last year, first annual innovation summit. How was it?
So I created that. I created that summit. I named it Innovation Now. It was a precursor for Joe Biden's U.S. African Summit that week of December. The purpose of that was to unite U.S. and African business. So I had like about 7, 8 different representatives fly in from Africa. Actually, one of my partners, my main partner, Julius Mwale, he was my main speaker. He's dropped some amazing gems, right? Yeah. He got a lot of different people that flew in and from America as well, excited about Africa. You know, a lot of statistics that they would not have known. So it was really an educational thing, but also a networking thing too, because you were actually able to shake a hand with someone you might have never met before.
True. So, but you mentioned Mwale, and who is one of your great partners. If you will tell us about the Jared Harrington stadiums and multiplexes and the studios and all the hubs and all these things.
For sure. So
yeah,
Julius has created a city, MMTC. The city is amazing. It's about 2 hours from Nairobi, $2 billion city. And so, you know, he had a vision of bringing in different components to his actual city. And so our visions aligned because I had a component of enhancing Africa's sports, entertainment, and education. So we partnered up, man, and we created the first stadium that's actually getting started construction June 30th. It would take about 18 months to complete. So we're proud of that. You know, that's a big accomplishment for us. And like I said, entertainment is also a piece that is important to me because that's what basketball is. That's what sports is, right? Yeah. What unites us the most? Sports is entertainment. Yeah. I mean, so, you know, I combined with the Crabo One Studios, is also a partner of mine, Chief Nana. He's actually has a partnership with the UAE to build the world's largest film studio. So they're actually doing that in Ghana, and we're all just combining our projects together to make a whole entire ecosystem, right, of enhancement. Yeah. So it's a unique approach that, like I said, it's a great effort. It's taken a lot of different parts to come into the fold, which I love. Yeah. Because I'm able to, you know, unite. Let's say I have another partner, advisor, Dr. Raju, out in India. Used to be an advisor for the United Nations, right? So I'm able to unite India, the UAE, you know, Africa American. Yeah. You know, so it's a very, very unique project that it's a uniting factor at the end of the day.
With these skills, are you looking to be a diplomat?
I get asked that question. I'm gonna stay away from that from right now. I'm gonna focus on my projects. You never know. You never know. You never know. It's something about help.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and your ability to unite is incredible, man.
Yeah. I think my ability to unite comes from my sincerity. I really want this, right? It's something that even since the ball, I've turned down other contract offers just to focus on this. You know, so some people that may be unheard of because they work their life to be a professional athlete. Yeah, but I mean, this has just been a calling of mine, right? And I won't rest until it's done.
Yeah, God set that calling in you, and you just want to pursue it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what's your motivation on doing all this?
My motivation is, number one, making an impact, right? So when I leave this earth, I want somebody to say, "Yo, Jared, that was a good guy."
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. My father says all the time. He said, "Man, son, all I want you to do is just be a good person." So I'm like, okay, That's the least I can do. You know, so why not use my ability and my name and my brand to be that?
Yeah. So then, what's next? After all this is done, what's next for you?
Man, just to keep expanding. I want to take this thing all over the world, right? So it's people all over the world, not just Africa, that needs, you know, assistance. And that's a big you know, misconception as well, you know.
Yeah.
People coming from all over the world think Africa needs so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Africans are the ones that's helping a lot of other people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the big misconception. So, you know, it's bigger than just here. It's the global diaspora thing that I'm really focused on.
Nice. So there are people who've seen you around, and the lady's asking, "Are you seeing someone?"
Right now, my focus has been strictly on this.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I get asked that question on top, but I mean, my focus has been on this. To be honest, that time will come, and I'm gonna just let the universe do it.
Okay. Your best sports documentary. On to the quick fire segment now.
My favorite documentary, Through the Fire.
Through the Fire.
Through the Fire, Sebastian Telfair. My cousin Blake, me and Blake, we used to watch that all the time. A kid from New York, you know, he declared for the draft out of the high school. He had a very inspiring story in Sebastian Telfair. So that was probably my favorite sports documentary.
Your best sports athlete? Overall,
you know, I like saying myself. So I'm biased. It's myself and Emmett Harrington. Those are my two.
and
Me and my brother.
you and your brother. That's it.
That's it. That's my. I know a lot of people, but my favorite is my family.
Yeah. Oh, your best recovery method or best recovery equipment, sports recovery?
Yoga.
Yoga.
Without a doubt, yoga.
Why yoga?
Yoga is well for the body, but it's also well for the mind, right? So it makes you lock in, and it forces your body into uncomfortable positions that you just have to really stay in, right? If you really want to, you know, achieve the best results. So I love being challenged.
Yeah. God has enabled you achieve all this or pursue all this at 25. But as we wrap up, I just like you to speak to this camera to a 17-year-old you and tell them what you would have done different then.
What I would have done different is went even harder earlier, right? I wouldn't have listened to any naysayer saying, I don't think you can do that, right? If I had something in my mind that I could do, I just would have just applied 100 amount of pressure to it, right? I would have studied even more and gotten smarter quicker, right? Right now, I'm pretty smart.
Yeah,
you know, I'm pretty smart, but I'm getting smarter by, you know, surrounding myself with the right people. So I would have established a lot of high relationships faster, right? You know, So those are some of the things, and I just would have kept following my dreams and staying focused at the end of the day. Like, not you want to have fun, you know, you want to be a human being, but at the same time, sometimes God puts you in positions.
Yeah,
you got to follow that. You know, you can't deny it. So I wouldn't have denied that calling earlier.
Yeah. Oh, it came earlier.
That came earlier, man. It came earlier. You know, but at the end of the day, everything happens on time.
Yep. So viewers, it's a great honor. You've heard from the one and only Jared Harrington, and you've heard the favorite athlete himself, him and his brother.
Sure.
Yeah, so viewers, stay tuned for updates that will be coming on how the project is going at MMTC and on other things that they're planning to do within Africa and within the different other continents. And indeed, listen to your call from God and what your divine purpose on earth is. That's a great message we've received today from Jared Harrington. Parting shot to the viewers.
Man, stay tuned to what we're doing. Keep believing in yourselves. That's all I got for you.
Yep. Thank you, brother. It was nice having you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Until next time, viewers.
Until next time.
Your host here, Jermaine Odhiambo, Wima Sports. We are at Osoita Lodge, indeed, where guests become family. Until next time. See you.
Peace.